Okay, welcome to another recap episode of Third and 23. I'm your host Alex, here to talk about how my picks and predictions went for week 14 of the NFL season. Uh, I'm just gonna kind of get right into it. I've already updated my record there at the top, so just gonna kind of recap quickly how these games went. And then kind of talk the Dolphins game and the Packers game at the end. So anyway, I went ahead and took the Browns, laid the 1.5. In the game, I thought that the Jaguars coming in there with a banged up backfield in Trevor Lawrence and in ETN. I thought that they weren't healthy in that backfield. I thought that the Cleveland Browns would be able to run the ball with some success against the Jags defense. And I thought the Browns defense would have had success against the Jaguars offense, considering that they weren't healthy, that, ETN and Lawrence weren't healthy. Kind of how it played out somewhat. Lawrence didn't have a good game he played. He turned the ball over like crazy. ETN was completely shut down. But the Browns' running game actually got shut down. They didn't really get going in this game. This was actually more Joe Flacco hitting some big plays. Jags defense really gave up 2 coverage busts to Njoku. Left them wide open. Hey, that helped us out. And that's what really gave the Browns the win and the cover. The final in this one was 31-27. So a little closer. I said on video, I said I would have took this at 3. I would have covered then at 3, but I would have been sweating it because the Jags actually scored a touchdown to make it 31-27, and instead of kicking the PAT, I guess I would have been nervous for a push if they did, but they didn't. They went for 2, so then I would have been nervous, right? Because they went for 2, they didn't get it, and that's what made it 31-27. So if you caught the Browns at 3, you still cover. So congrats on that. Minnesota at Vegas. This is my only game I didn't get right this weekend. Had it as a push. I can't believe that I got a push on a 3-0 football game. This is probably the worst football game in the past 20 years. You saw the Steelers Patriots, not the Steelers Patriots, the Patriots Chargers last week. You never thought you would have topped that 6-0 game. At least you didn't think you'd top it in the same season, right? Man, 3-0. Minnesota won this game, and with a late field goal late in the fourth quarter to take that 3-0 lead. The Vikings couldn't get anything going. Josh Dobbs, he isn't it, and I think his opportunity to ever start a football game probably has ended because he was absolutely awful. Minnesota missed a field goal early in the game too. I mean, we could have actually won. They could have won 6-0. We could have actually won this bet. And then you had a chance late in the game. The Raiders turned it over in field goal range for Minnesota, but at this point they're just going to try to run out the clock. The Raiders had a timeout, so they were forced to kick a field goal, but they didn't kick the field goal. They pooch punted it. If they kick the field goal there, they did us in. If they kick the field goal there, we cover if he makes it, right? But even then, this game didn't go how I thought it would go. But I thought Justin Jefferson would have he was a big reason why I also laid the 3, and he goes down in the first quarter. Looks like JJ is gonna just have an injury-riddled year. So that's how that went. The Raiders, they didn't do anything offensively. I didn't think they would against a really underrated, particularly run defense for Minnesota. They're very, very stout up front, and the Raiders really got nothing going. Aiden O'Connell, less than 200 yards passing, got sacked 4 times, and the running game went nowhere. So this was 3-0. So this is a push. So I went up there and put my push up there at the top. No L's this week. No red on the screen, right? Next, Bills in Kansas City. I told you guys that I have first. I got the Bills 5th on my power rankings, right? I have my own rankings. I do my own rankings. That's part of what guides my betting. Also, I have my own model, and if you guys were wondering, I have my own power rankings. I have my own model, and then I also use my just gut instincts and what I know about football.
Whoa, Floyd! I absolutely would not send
that.
Game-saving interception. Thanks, Marcus.
Happens too much on here. But So I have my own rankings, I have my own system, I have my own model, and then I use my own knowledge of football because I watch a lot of football in my life. So if you're wondering that's how what guides my picks, that's what does it, right? So in this one, my power rankings had the Bills better than Kansas City. Watching the games, I knew the Bills were better than Kansas City. KC's just not the same team. You know, they like I said, they don't have an alpha receiver. That's why they're not having success this season that they're used to having. I mean, they're still a good team. They're still, in my opinion, making the playoffs, but they're missing that alpha out wide. And it kind of sucks for them if you're a Chiefs fan because their defense has probably been playing the best football of Patrick Mahomes' time in Kansas City. Their defense is pretty solid, and they were solid in this game too. They kind of shut down the Bills' passing attack. This was a game where Josh Allen was just making plays. He was making critical plays running, or he's making a critical throw here, but he wasn't consistent because this Kansas City defense is very good. But on the other side, I told you guys no Pacheco. It's going to be no running game, and there was no running game. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not going to be able to run the football against these guys. I told you I don't believe in him. I don't think he's tough enough to do it. James Cook, underrated player this season, by the way, for Buffalo, had a great game running and receiving. Final, this one was 20-17. I don't really got to talk about the offsides play. You guys probably already know about it, but Kansas City did score a touchdown to take the lead. But Kadarius Toney was offsides. You usually don't see that called. So I understand KC frustration. Let's be real though, he was offsides. But I understand if you didn't call that play either because that was kind of a BS call in that situation, in my opinion. Now, I don't think that means Kansas City would have won the game because there still would have been over a minute left in the game for Josh Allen. So we don't know how that would have played out. But 20-17 is your final. Buffalo wins. We hit on that. So high stakes plays, we got us paid this week. Low stakes plays, Carolina at New Orleans, laid the 6. I actually ended up buying I could buy a half point in that one and made it 5.5 just in case. But he laid the 6, called it on this one. The Saints pretty much dominated. Dennis Allen is very, but going into this week, I meant to mention on the video too. Dennis Allen is 9-2 against rookie quarterbacks. He's not going to get beat by a rookie quarterback. There was a lot of money going on Carolina in this game. That was a huge mistake. Bryce Young is, this season, I'm just talking about this season, Bryce Young is easily the worst quarterback in the NFL. The Panthers are the worst team in the NFL. Bryce Young, 13, 36, 137, got sacked 4 times. 12 QBR if you like QBR. Just terrible. I thought Kamara would have been better. I mean, he didn't run the ball that much, but he was effective running the ball. They actually didn't throw it to him that much like they typically do. They were kind of spreading it around, but the Saints' defense is what really dominated this game. And Dennis Allen is not going to get beat by a bad rookie quarterback. This was kind of an easy cover. I guess I should. I told you guys on video I was considering doing a high stake play. I didn't. But still, low stakes play, low stakes money. Still got bread, so that's all that matters. We hit on that one. Final 28-6. New Orleans easily covers. And then Philly at Dallas. Laid the 3. I thought this game would have been more competitive. I was thinking more of a 7 to 10 point win for the Cowboys, but I knew Cowboys were going to get their revenge. They were the better team. They have an explosive offense, and they're going against a Philly secondary that I tell you guys every week is not good. Their pass defense gets cooked every week. I mean, this is just, I think by now people know this. So I saw out there in the ether, a lot of people were taking Dallas and laying the points, and they were rightfully so. Cowboys won this game 33-13. Dak had a good game. Could have been better. This game actually could have looked worse. Dallas could have dropped over 40, and the Eagles kind of got gifted a touchdown by Dak when he fumbled the ball, and it was a scoop and score. Dallas looks like the better team. They looked like the better team the first time they played. Said this on stream, and this was an easy pick. So final 33-13, covered in that one. So we had a 4. And I don't know. I guess we won't call it a 4-0 week. What do you guys want to call it? A 4-0-1 week because I had a push. Whatever. We're 11-1-1 the last 3 weeks in the NFL. So, I mean, you guys can call that what you want, but I'm absolutely cooking it right now. And if you came on here hoping that I would talk the Dolphins and the Dolphins game and the Packers game, I wanted to. I know that I a lot of times haven't been doing these Monday night or Thursday night games, those primetime games. And I follow my own method, my own system. and I wanted to, I want to give you guys something there, but I just can't do it. The Dolphins are a 14-point favorite, and that's kind of like right around where I think how much I think the Dolphins gonna win by. Man, if you want to money line the Dolphins game just to have something on there, I might do that actually tonight. But as far as against the spread, I just don't see it because I think you put yourself at risk of a backdoor cover with the spread this high. I mean, I could easily see 30-10 Miami not playing anything or not playing with any motivation late, and you lose 30-17 because you gifted them a touchdown, some BS like that. So I don't want to do that game. And then but I think the Dolphins are winning. And then the Packers Giants, I would stay away from that game, man. The Packers are a 6-point favorite. I think this is a full quarter football game. I think the Giants are gonna have a lot of running success. This might be a good game for Saquon. And I just don't. I think the Packers have ran the ball well this season when you look at the numbers, but I watch AJ Dillon play football and I'm not impressed. He's not an explosive running back. They say Aaron Jones might give it a go. Who knows what you get from Aaron Jones? I just don't know in this one. I mean, I could see the Packers having a letdown from the big one against Kansas City as well. I don't like this game for the Packers. If they win, I think it's going to be close. I don't want to take the Giants with the 6 because I'm not going to ever take Tommy DeVito. I mean, you got to be crazy. But I think this is going to be a four-quarter football game, so I'm going to stay away from that. So for Monday Night Football, I'm staying away from both. Probably doing on my own offline, money line with Miami. But that's it. So anyways, if you like the content, please like, follow, subscribe. You look at that record at the top right. If you were doing my picks, I'm sure you like that bank account that you just hit on. So without further ado, you're going to see my YouTube handle here in a few seconds, and take care.